PCMC.com. Welcome to PCMC. I'm Mike Mangiano. I'm joined once again by my good friend, Mr. Bill Gagliardi.
Hello.
How are you, Billiam?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing good. How's your marriage going?
My marriage is going a lot better than the one we're going to talk about today.
Well, your marriage has not gone on as long as this marriage.
Well, I mean, how are you talking about time? Are you talking about time in the universe or throughout the duration of
I was
our
talking about
world?
the duration of the run, but you're right. In the universe, like every 10 years, they scrub the canon.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah.
But yes, we are talking about the marriage of Marge and Homer Simpson.
Yeah.
And
specifically the infidelities.
Yes.
And the wandering eyes.
Ooh.
Of the marriage. And Homer's had more, but Marge
is no saint either.
Well, Homer's had various different women that he's liked.
Yes.
But Marge keeps going back to Flanders.
Oh.
Which to me means there's something deeper there.
I mean, he's a hunk, though.
He is a hunk.
That's something that we gotta go layers and layers and layers deep.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the forbidden fruit. But
yes.
Especially with Flanders.
Yes.
Which is right
He'd
up
love
his
that
alley.
reference. Yes.
He would. But yes, as per the canon of the series, they've been married for 10 years. I've been married for 10 years as well.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it does seem to be very easy for them to be tempted by the forbidden fruit.
Yeah.
So, yes.
For a show about a family, and again, it could be because it's been on a million years and you need stories and stories repeat, but there is a large amount of episodes where the idea is there's almost infidelity.
Yes.
Or I'm trying to think if there ever really is. If you count kissing as infidelity, then yes. But they never fuck anyone else. Except for that one, but then it's a dream fake out.
That's a cop-out.
Yeah.
That was a cop-out.
Yeah.
But, which is what I completely forgot until I rewatched it.
Yes, me too.
But,
you're the Simpsons. We should say you're a Simpsons huge fan. You've seen it all.
Huge fan, ad nauseum, just as comfort watching the first, I'm not even going to say 10 seasons. Like everybody always says, watch the first 10 seasons and then it drops off. I'm going to give it up until season 15. The first 300 episodes are excellent. You got I would say the first 10 seasons are solid seasons.
Yeah.
And the older I get, the more I appreciate seasons 1 and 2, which people start loving it in season 3.
Yeah.
But, yeah, after season 15, you'll get 2 or 3 episodes a season that are actually good. And the list that I gave you for this, we started getting into the 20s.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we got up all the way up until season 27.
Yeah.
Which I stopped watching it religiously up until season 31. I think we're up to 33 now. But these are just numbers. Yes,
well, you know more than anyone else. Of anyone I know, you know more about The Simpsons. You could character names, episode names.
Mm-hmm.
You're a pretty big Simpsons fan, and I said, can you? I've watched a lot of The Simpsons too, as we all have. I was like, could you give me a list of episodes to revisit for this topic? And you gave me a bunch.
You thought I was going to give you 4 episodes or something, and
it was a lot.
It was half a season.
Watching them all back to back, as I did this week, it's like, wow, this marriage is fucked up.
But you know what, Mike? We didn't even get into other problems in the marriage.
Right,
we really just went into either
the infidelity.
If you even want to call it infidelity, what we're going to discuss today is a 3 3-episode story arc that was over the course of 10 seasons.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, so it's like their marriage goes way beyond just the infidelity stuff. Like, there's
Right.
a lot of trust issues. There's a lot of psychological manipulation going on.
Yes.
But yeah, today we're really just going to talk about the infidelity portion of it, because it does seem to be a trend in here.
Right.
Mainly, the Simpsons was always pitched at Fox as a dysfunctional family.
Right.
Over the last 35 years, they've become a little bit more middle class.
Yeah.
They become a little bit more family centric, where like that dysfunction is not part of the norm.
Yes.
So
he strangles his child less.
yes, there's less domestic violence in the Simpsons these days. But let's start with 1990, season 1.
Yeah.
Who drew first blood?
Marge.
But why?
It's episode 9 of season 1.
Yes.
An episode without a couch gag.
Yes. It's an intense episode.
I believe it's the first of many Albert Brooks characters.
Yes. And oh man, like Albert Brooks, you got Hank Scorpio,
Yeah.
you have was it Russ Cargill from the movie?
Yeah.
One of the best like guest voice actors.
Yes.
But
Often, by the way, this is a trend. Often the person, the what do you ever want to call them, the focus of the infidelity is a guest star.
yes. Well, with the exception of Ned Flanders.
Yes.
The first time we see this is in I believe it's called Life in the Fast Lane.
Yes.
So in this episode, Marge starts taking bowling lessons because out of spite, Homer forgets Marge's birthday and just out of a whim tries to get her a birthday present and ends up buying something for himself.
It's interesting the way you put that.
Well,
because this is the thing that we're getting into the meat here.
okay.
Meat and potatoes here. Forgetting her birthday, you're an idiot, you're dumb, you're neglectful.
Yeah.
But then it didn't seem like he bought her a gift for himself because he's dumb. It seemed like he did it on purpose, because she was like, I don't even bowl. And he's like, well, if you don't want it, I know someone else will. And to me, that's genuinely mean. And often what happens, at least in the Marge episodes, are Homer's terrible and Marge is like, I need a break from this horrible person I'm shackled to.
Yeah.
The only time that they turn that on its head is that much later episode with the train, where he's actually doing something good for her,
Yes.
but she doesn't realize it.
Yes.
But typically he's awful.
She feels like she's being neglected though.
He's
that episode
awful.
as well.
I mean, if we're gonna come out of the gate, I'm gonna say he's the problem.
He's always the problem. Like I said, he's manipulative. It's that like teach me how to treat you type of thing.
Yeah.
And that's why after years and years and years, I know we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but like
Yeah.
when you get to that episode with the train,
Yeah.
then it's like, oh yeah, this is expected because this
Right.
is just your pattern of behavior. So like, why
Right.
should I expect any more of you?
Right.
So yeah, like, I called this as Marge drew first blood, but like in reality, it's like we see 9 episodes in
Yeah.
and a couple of Tracy Ullman shorts that this person's selfish.
Yes.
This person's extremely selfish, and yeah, he did buy something for himself.
Right.
But it was like, oh, I'm thoughtful. I got this for you for your birthday, but whatever. You ever do anything like that? Where you bought something for somebody, but you're like, maybe they'll stop using it and I could get some use out of it too.
I've bought people books that I wanted to read, and I think like, after you read, I'm going to borrow this. But I've never gone that far. I like giving gifts to people. Like I said, the forgetfulness is when he's stupid, it's fine.
Yes.
It's when he's an asshole is the problem. And he's both sometimes.
Sometimes he gets really assholey.
Yeah.
Really, really assholey. And you know what? Like the amount of times, like just growing up, I guess it's more of like when, my marriage got more serious and, when I had kids and stuff and you start seeing people who, I'm going to say like I idolized Homer. I quoted Homer Simpson my entire life from the moment I was 4 years old.
Sure.
Just because he was very funny.
Yeah, he's
And
funny.
He's got like a lot of witty things to say. But, now as his contemporary,
Yeah.
because right now I'm around the
How
same
often
age.
do you strangle your children?
How often do I
Yeah.
strangle my children?
Yeah.
I can't even make a joke about that.
Yeah.
Man, like that's the thing. Like, oh man, there's this one episode where they go on a reality TV show.
Yeah.
And Homer strangling Bart, and Dr. Hibbert is watching the show. He's like, that's why he has so many vertebrae fractures.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, that moment, like it became self-aware. And like, that's why I said, like, you can't even joke about that, because it's like, that was where you finally realize how awful this really is. And like, I got like sad.
You're right.
Because I'm like, wow, this man is a monster.
It's a sad joke.
This man is a monster.
Yeah.
But again, he's one of the funniest characters ever. Like, it's like,
well, the show outlasted the culture that it was born in.
yes,
You know what I mean? So we wouldn't say that in the original like in the first season that they were pro child abuse.
Yeah,
it was just a time where the satire was different. Like in the beginning, I think the idea is America's shitty, and these are shitty American people. The dad's shitty, the kid's shitty, everybody's shitty, the middle class is shitty. So the kid's a nightmare, and then he strangles the kid. There's nothing real about it. But as time went on, culture changed, the way we joke about things changed, and now what are they in 30? What are they up
33.
to? 33. Now it's
owned by Disney.
I know. Now in season 33, you're like, ooh. But you know what? Whenever they do it later on, it is always self-aware.
Yes.
It's always a joke about how insane it would possibly be.
Yes.
Well, it's like honeymooners. Like you wouldn't
threaten.
Yeah, the big joke is
beating
he's
your
threatening his wife with domestic violence.
And we all laugh.
Well, ha ha ha.
That Alice.
Yeah. But you know what? Since I brought up the honeymooners, we should say that in some ways, what you have with The Simpsons is a continuation of the sitcom trope of husband is a blowhard, he takes up all the room, he's an asshole, he's a fat idiot, and
the wife is beautiful Audrey Meadows.
Right. But in some way, but Marge is dumb too sometimes. I think The Simpsons is, what if Ralph Cramden from The Honeymooners was married to Edith from All in the Family?
Yeah.
Because she's very Edith sometimes.
She does get very Edith. You know what it is? It's just someone who's completely defeated. It's somebody who's just like maybe had potential at one point, but like just has taken so many shots, or like,
right.
Where there's two times where Marge has really made me sad. One of them was when she was selling pretzels.
Uh-huh.
And she was like telling her kids, like, don't like, and she was failing at it. She's like, don't even try, like, just give, like, telling her kids, like, just give up in life. Like, and another one where she got into a car and it was like, hello, Marge, would you want to go today? And she's like, that's the first time anybody's ever told me that. And she got so fulfilled. And I was like,
it's sad.
I feel so sad for Marge. But yeah.
Well, there's one of the episodes that we'll get back into the episode list, but one of the episodes later on, the one with Lena Dunham, they're in a marriage counselor, and she says something like, it's so terrible, I would kill for just okay again.
Yeah.
It's just like, your life is a nightmare.
Yes.
But going back to the bowling, she decides, fuck you, I'm actually going to use this ball. You gave it to me. I'm going to go bowling.
Yes.
You stay home and watch the kids.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Good for her, because it's like, all right, you brought this on. Like, this is your punishment. I'm actually taking a hobby, and I'm taking some time for myself, because you go to work, you suck at your job, and then you just get hammered immediately. You don't even come home show face. Like, are you going to be home for dinner?
Right.
So, you know what? I'm going to take some time out.
Right. Yeah, there's a couple of episodes on this list where, out of spite, like the one with Mo, where she starts working at the bar. It's out of spite.
It's out of spite.
She's like, you know what? You made your bed. Now you're going to lie in it. So she meets this French guy. What's his name?
Jacques,
of course.
Jacques.
And he's got designs right away.
Yeah. I mean, he's got women over. Like, first of all, like, I mean, is this the place to pick people up? Like, is the bowling
alley? For Jacques.
I mean, Springfield is a place of very few singles areas.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you think of like the tennis instructor is like the cliche.
Yeah.
But he's a bowling instructor.
Yeah. I mean, this guy fucks.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. When we first see him, he's like got all the women around him. And he sees Marge, and Marge sucks at bowling. And he's like, he kind of builds her up. So you kind of know right away he's like playing some angle.
But like he's getting close. It's very much like a predator and his prey. Like he's just like watching her, and like it's creepy.
The thing is, she goes along with it more than she should.
Yes.
And that's in the episodes about Marge, that's often what happens. She always knows it's wrong, but she likes someone paying attention to her. She likes someone actually listening to her.
Yes.
So she lets it go on longer than she knows she should.
That's always the case. But, yeah. I mean, both her and Homer. Well, I mean, like we'll get into Homer because the next one is going to be Colonel Homer. But very early on, you see like when they've gotten the closest to actually doing it.
Yeah.
But somebody's paying attention to her. Yeah. And somebody is making her feel important.
Yeah.
And
who doesn't want that?
Yeah, who doesn't want that? That is a good partner.
Yeah.
Not him. This guy's a predator. And like he knows the moves.
Right.
But and you could see like he's promising her this escapism.
Yes.
And you see her like fantasizing about like going to his condo, and like it's going to be like the friggin' Continental from the Christopher Walken skits, you know? Where like then you see him in his like dilapidated bathroom, just like pretty much making eyes at himself.
Right.
Where the guy's actually a sleazebag. It's just it's always that thing of it's like this has been the marriage you've been in for like the last 10 years versus like, oh, this is the novel thing. This is like the like, you know,
and
this
you
is
deserve more.
Yeah.
And it almost always, Marge and Homer, it ends with there's a final bridge to cross.
Yeah. And
they don't do it.
Yeah.
They go back to each other.
Right.
I mean, this ends with an officer and a gentleman parody of, she goes to the power plant.
Right.
Instead of she's got a date to go meet him.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, she's literally at a crossroads. Do I go to his apartment or do I go to see Homer at the power plant?
He should not live that close to a nuclear power facility.
No, he should not. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was one, I mean, very few times they've actually gotten close, but like that was like hey, this is something's going to happen.
This was the first one.
Yes.
And you could say, I mean, it's obviously like the silliest show in the world, but you could make the argument that earlier on, like in season 1, there was a greater tie to some kind of reality.
Yes.
I mean, the problem with the show for me is that as it goes on, its formula is so tight that it's plot without story.
Yes.
It's one thing happens that leads to the second thing that happens, and now it's just so formulaic.
It's got to have 600 episodes. Well, I mean, like you look at this, the first couple of seasons are more grounded in reality. Yeah. But like,
well, there's stakes to things.
Yes.
Not everything's a gag.
But like the thing, like you can't say. You can't get away with it saying like, oh, there's hundreds of episodes. You can only do that for so long. Because like you went out of the gate, like testing their marriage 9 episodes in. It's like you look at Bob's Burgers. Bob's Burgers is in season 13 and they're still on the same block. You know, like it's like, yeah, both shows are excellent. Yeah. But like for some reason, Bob's Burgers really just kept it interesting having that slice of life.
Yeah.
But that's for a whole other podcast.
Well, Bob's Burgers does the thing that Simpsons did where they expand the world and expand the cast and have all these other people. But the thing about Bob's Burgers that people like is how like sincere it is. And even if people are jokes, like there's something real about them. Where there's nothing to the comic book guy, right? There's nothing to Lenny and Carl Carlson.
Right.
Whereas like
they're all one note, really.
Right. But like the criminal who works at the
Mickey.
Yeah, like there's something to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I remember seeing this as a kid and being like slightly bothered by it.
Yeah, because it's encroaching. It's like he physically, his introduction is like he is less than a foot away from Marge.
Yeah. So
like he is usurping that family. Yeah. Like he's not like her. He's usurping her. Like and like just like coming into her territory. overstepping his bounds.
Yeah.
And just he's a predator. He really is a predator. And like if she would have gone forward with it, like he would have been probably worse than Homer. This guy,
sure,
like,
yeah,
because
he was a con. Yeah,
he's a con artist.
Right. So, do you want to talk about Homer's Night Out? This is the very next episode, season 1, episode 10.
This is the next episode. This is more of what Homer's character is like. It's not really so much of like he's cheating.
No, it's not.
But he's a dog. He's just.
I actually think Marge is wrong in this episode, but that's my 2023 eyes.
With like why not? This is just for entertainment.
Yeah, and also like her judgment of the sex worker as being, you know what I mean? Like she's really looking down on the girl.
Yes, but however, more so for the punishment of Homer, of like, you look at everybody else that was at the stag party.
Yeah.
Who was the one who was spearheading? Who was the one, like Homer was the one who was like the front runner.
He also lied, right? He could have said, she said, are you going to the stag party? And he said, no, it's more like a tea.
Right.
So she did catch him in a lie.
Yes.
Which is bad. But well, you talk about it. What do you think?
Well, no, I mean, my whole point for that and like why I wanted to like get into episodes like that is because it's like Homer more so will cross the line.
Well, let's say he goes to a stag party, right? Yeah. That makes us sound old. He goes to a bachelor party, let's say. And there's a dancer, and he dances on the table with her, and Bart has a spy camera.
Yes.
And he takes a picture of it, and he makes copies, and the picture goes all over.
Right.
And everyone sees it, and Marge is humiliated.
Everybody's getting a kick out of it and stuff. Yeah.
Right. And Marge is humiliated by it.
I feel like humiliation and embarrassment is one of the straws that breaks the camel's back on a lot of these. Because,
well, when she writes the book in that later episode, he's humiliated.
Yes. But it's more of a eye-opener for him, too.
Yeah, yes.
But, like, the humiliation carries over now into the Colonel Homer episode.
Yes.
Because that's what, like, he gets publicly embarrassed from being an asshole in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
But, like, his feelings are, he's hurt. He's like, this is my one ally. It's like, you could have just, like, said, like, calm down or whatever, like, under your breath. But I mean, I don't know how effective that would have been. But like, he was embarrassed, so he feels like his family betrayed him. So first off, he drove 2 hours away. Like,
right.
What are you doing? But somebody paid attention to him, and this is the same thing. Like, it's like they later on in one of the seasons when Homer has a bowling team, there's a team called the Home Wreckers.
Yeah. And
Lurleen and Jacques are on the team.
That's fun.
So it's like, these are people who paid attention to them. But I feel like,
well, we have to do, you and I, like, we're diving into it. We've got to do a better job for the listener summarizing the episodes.
Okay. Sure.
This starts with Homer being really fucking annoying.
Yes. Homer's being annoying in the movie theaters, and everybody around, all the audience is getting annoyed, and then Marge has had enough, and she takes the side of the audience.
Yeah.
And everybody cheers on Marge, and Homer's embarrassed for it.
She snaps.
Yes. She snaps at him. And so Homer drops the kids off and drops Marge off at the house, and he's like, I don't know when I'm going to be back.
Yeah.
So he drives past county lines, finds a rodeo bar.
Yeah.
And it's this whole new world for him.
Yeah.
This waitress is singing, and she's singing a song that's pretty much, she's singing his song.
Yeah.
Like, he's working, it's like the woe is me. Like, I work all day, I'm not being appreciated, nobody cares about me.
Yeah.
And she's like, no one understands you, but I do. And this just like, he's like, okay, she's paying attention to me.
Right.
So like,
and she's voiced by Beverly D'Angelo.
Yes. Does she do the singing voice too?
I don't know.
I don't know Beverly D'Angelo as a singer.
I think I know she danced. I don't know, she might have been. But
he goes to pay her a compliment, and that's really enough, because he goes back, because now he can't get enough of it. He's like, like, she's singing my song. Like, he's obsessed with this, because like, he feels like he's being heard.
Right. Right.
So there's something I'm realizing now is that she's not appreciated either, though.
Right.
Because she's like, all right, I'm just gonna go back to waiting the tables now.
Yeah.
And but there's this mutual appreciation for each other.
Yeah.
But now Homer's going along for the ride. I don't think that he's actually infatuated with her.
No, I think he's. Yeah, she likes him.
Yes, and she sees her. She sees him as her knight in shining armor.
Right.
Going to take me out of this dump.
Right.
But he's just hey, I'm going along for the ride of I'm going to go with the fame. Right. I'm going to
he's her manager.
Yes, and I'm liking this attention.
Right.
And it's not until the end because she's dropping hints everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's not getting it at all. Marge gets it. They go to the studio and she's singing a song with Homer in the title.
Yeah.
And she's grinding her teeth, completely jealous. He's dumping all the life savings into it because he believes in the product.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's if you look at all the jobs of Homer Simpson.
Yes.
There's a good percentage, 15 to 20% of the jobs are music related.
Yeah. You think Homer's true dream is music?
Yes. But that might just be a bias on my end.
No, but if you look at the numbers, he does.
He was in a cover band. He was in a barbershop quartet. He was in a one-man band where a monkey mauled his face. And
he doesn't. Lurleen likes him, but he is invested in the music, and it's called Colonel Homer because, like Colonel Tom Parker,
yes,
he becomes her manager, and she buys him the outfit, so he dresses like the Colonel.
Yes, but again, you look at both of these triggers from the Jacques episode and the Lurleen episode. It's the family hurt him or completely disregarded his feelings. And this is somebody paying attention to them. The only difference is Marge is entertaining the fact, and he's not. He's just really going along for the ride, and he's enjoying the feeling important.
Right.
But until the end where he's like, you would have gone all the way with me, wouldn't you? And she's like, oh, yeah. He's like, aw. But you look at that, you're like, yeah, I know I shouldn't, and I'm not going to, but that would have been fun.
Right. Of course, it feels good to know that someone wants to.
Yeah, and I feel that Homer is so fragile that any little bit of just attention to him, he's gonna go.
Well, he's like a child. He needs. Marge is like his mother. And that's why he's so hurt when she flips on him. But he is so fucking annoying.
Well, now you look at the psychology of it. His mom disappeared when he was 10 years old.
Yes, that's true.
So
that's true. And his dad's also not great either. So, okay. Yeah. So Lurleen kisses Homer at the end of this.
Yes.
I just want to get the scoreboard up going.
Yeah, because then he has his whole romantic life flash before his eyes, and he's got the kissing booth where they take the dollar and they smack him. And,
right.
Nobody wants to kiss Homer, but she does. Right. So again, he feels important.
Right.
And I mean, especially in the earlier episodes, that was because Homer is supposed to be the air quotes underdog. So
I mean, what you see in both of them is often what you see in real life, right? Often, if a woman cheats in a relationship, it's to have a connection. Right. Where often if men cheat in a relationship or a heterosexual relationship, it's to feel some kind of power or to feel like I still got it or whatever. I'm still the hunter, So the next episode is A Streetcar Named Marge.
Well, that's going to be part of a 3-story arc, especially because we got a whole desire for Ned Flanders.
Yes. Okay.
So why don't we go to
Last Temptation?
The Last Temptation of Homer, because this is
This is a big one.
This is a huge one. But this one's a little bit different because both of the episodes with Jacques and Mindy, not Jacques and Mindy, Jacques and Lurleen, there's emotional cheating going on. There's anger, resentment towards your family going on. This is Homer just found some way who's exactly like him in every way,
but hot,
and it's Michelle Pfeiffer voicing.
Right.
So, just like a quick synopsis of the story, somebody at work retires, so they have to. It's a diversity hire, right?
They have to hire a woman,
right?
Oh,
but
the 90s.
Was this the one with Stewart? Was the duck that was working for them?
Oh, I don't remember.
Or they were trying to train Zootroy, who actually becomes a supervisor later on in the series. But yeah, they have to hire a woman. And it's Mindy, and Mindy's this beautiful woman.
She has an overbite, and with Simpsons characters, to make them attractive, you have to give them the overbite.
Yes.
I don't know why that works.
It's just one of the things.
It's
in the
just
rule
the
book.
rule, yeah. So she's like a, and she likes donuts.
Yes.
She likes eating. She likes drinking.
Well, we don't see that at first. What we first, Homer has a physical attraction to her because he just has that first hallucination of the Venus, not the Venus,
Birth of Venus.
The birth of Venus. So, and he goes home, and Marge is sick.
Right.
Bart's becoming he's got the glasses, and he just went to the HMO. So it's his family. He's not mad at his family. His family's not betraying him or anything like that. But it's just his family looks rusted, Right. He opens up the door. He's like, oh, now I'm gonna. Because he's going to get rejuvenated because he's going to go home to his beautiful family. And the first thing she sees is Marge is she looks like shit. She's like, don't kiss me, Homer. I'm sick. So it's okay. So. And
it is interesting that the kids are part of that.
Yes.
As this is the package of things aren't great for me.
Right. Lisa, who's fine, is I made fish sticks. They're burnt on the outside, but frozen on the inside. So it balances out. It's one of the gooniest we see Lisa.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's okay, you know what? That's not great, but that's still my family. I love them.
Yeah.
He's let me put out this fire because maybe this is just a physical attraction.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna say look, I'm a slob. I I like all this stuff. There's no way you could like me. She's like, oh no, I love beer. I love all this stuff.
They make it like it's this they are so drawn to each other, and it's they're both trying to not do it.
Right, because she feels the same way. She's think unsexy does, things unsexy does.
Right, when they're on the elevator together.
Yeah.
This is my stop, and then
he falls out of the cooling tower.
It makes no sense, but it's great. See you tomorrow.
But see, here's the thing. It's in this one, he's attracted to her, and all the signs are pointing to hey, this might actually be good, but
she's
again,
DTF.
It's that
he doesn't want to
novelty of it.
Oh, right, the novelty.
It's that oh, this is something new, and but he's trying to avoid it. He's trying his hardest to avoid it, and then they both win the the dinner. And it's do we have to go? And it's absolutely yes.
Right.
They're forcing him to go out to dinner with her. They're forcing her to go, to a convention together.
Right.
So
where people are, it's a power convention or an energy convention, and people are thanks for ruining the world.
Yeah, get back. They're both screaming at them and stuff. But
it's the world is forcing them together.
The world is forcing them together. But the thing is, it's you gotta give Mindy credit too, because I think she respects that sanctity of marriage.
Right.
Because she's look, by the end they call it what it is. Because they're ordering room service. They're friends. They're friends that they have an unspoken attraction to each other.
Yeah.
But then at the very end, just a little bit before that, they're both on the bed. They're having that one kind of intimate moment of having room service. But then you hear the floor buffer start making the Marge groan, and then Homer's wearing an undershirt with Marge's face stretched out because there was a misprint at the mall, so she got it for $2 off. So it's just the memory of Marge, even how in rough shape it is right now, is still haunting him.
Yeah.
But there is a guilt there, and it's I don't want this to happen, but like you said, the world is forcing them together.
Yeah.
Until he invites her into his room.
Yeah.
At the very end. And then he starts crying. He's like, this is going to happen, isn't it? But again, she's respectful.
He doesn't want it to happen, but he's like, oh, I guess we have to do it.
Yeah, because the thing with the fortune cookie, every time I have Chinese food, I always have to oh, we ran out of the you'll find a new love. Better open the stick with your wife barrel. If only he had the next cookie, like that would have been the sign. But like, this one, I call it a close call, but like, this is one of the more endearing ones because like, yeah, she's respectful to it because he's like, we're going to have sex, aren't we? He's like, we don't have to. Like,
he could probably do, I mean, like, he could do it and get away with it, but he doesn't want to. Right. He really doesn't want to.
Right. So, and it ends on a nice note because then you see like it, you think that it's Mindy because like there's just somebody standing over the bed in lingerie, but it ends up being Marge. And then that busboy comes in.
Yeah.
And like starts like gawking at them.
Yeah.
And he punches his eye out. But it ends up being a sweet episode. But like, I guess you start to see the pattern here. It's like, it's not like Homer was in a vulnerable place at first.
Yeah.
Where those other 2 times he was.
It also brings up, it ends with something that I think is one of the stronger things about their relationship, which is they have a good sex life.
Yes.
Throughout the whole series, they always have a good sex life.
Yes.
And he seems to please her. Like he'll fall asleep right after and snore, but he seems to please her, so there are strengths in their marriage.
Yes. I mean, that's... everything, every marriage has its ups and its downs. Like, and right now we are focusing on the downs, but like there are literally hundreds of episodes where there is the grandiose, like sweet things that he does. But a lot of times it's for overcompensating for doing something terrible, like buying a gun without her consent and turning off all the lights with shooting, or again strangling your kids or forgetting your youngest daughter's name. In every episode. He's a terrible person.
Who the hell's Margaret?
Your youngest daughter. So those were a lot of the core episodes to the early Simpsons of close calls. Like I call those the close calls episodes.
Right. The Mindy episode is season 5.
Yes. Which is one of the more perfect seasons. Like 4, 5, and 6 are solid seasons when it comes to like if you need to watch anything, I think that's where like Milhouse Divided is, which is the jump off episode that Ginny and I have talked about. But and even in that episode, Homer and Marge get divorced, but just as a grandiose gesture, so he could remarry her the way that he wanted to.
Right.
Besides the point, I just got to look at the list. What was after the Mindy episode?
Well, I
was a little all over the place.
I have them written in chronological order.
Oh, great. Go for it.
But you wanted to do...
There's the 3 Ned episodes I want to group together.
So the next one is Viva Ned Flanders.
Viva Ned Flanders. Now, this is more of like a stupidity thing.
Right. This doesn't involve Marge at all.
No. This is more of they find out that Ned is actually 60 years old. Because they're blowing up. Well, Marge does have an affair linked to this episode because Marge had an affair with gambling. When Mr. Burns opened up a casino.
Yes.
And this takes place right after that episode, a few seasons later, where...
right. And they make a joke in the beginning like, remember when you opened this and we all just forgot about it.
Yeah, and it's like, why did they move this when they moved the town? Because there's... an episode where they overpollute the town of Springfield.
Yeah.
This like the 200th episode. And they move their plan B is to just relocate the entire town. So they're like, this place has been closed down. Why did they move it with the whole town?
Right.
So they destroy that casino. Homer's car gets completely dusty. So he goes to the car wash and he finds out that Ned gets a discount. So he confronts him in church in front of the whole
congregation.
Yep. And Ned comes out and he says, yeah, I'm 60 years old. And they're like, how? Like, he's like, I have done absolutely nothing. I'm completely predictable.
Right.
I eat bread and water, like, as a treat.
The water for dipping.
Yeah. And, like, even his whole family's like, yeah, we know everything you're going to do always. And while they're saying this, Homer's up on the roof, like, smoking a turkey, like, through the fireplace. And one of the sweetest things with Marge is, like, he's up on the roof and there's like just like a bunch of just like bloody meat on the roof. Yeah. And he's like, all right, come on, I'm going to train you on how to live your life. And he falls off the roof and it's like, what about all this meat? And then Marge comes up with the bucket and mop, like, this is my time to shine. So like, here's Marge being supportive and being,
but also sad.
Yeah. It's...
like her time to shine is to clean up his fucking nonsense.
Always. I mean, and that's why, like, you got to like, Anytime that it's a Marge episode where the infidelity happens, like, go for it.
Yeah.
You deserve a win.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so he's training Ned in how to
Enjoy
live
life. Yeah.
So they go to Mr. Burns' casino and then they realize that it's destroyed. So they end up going to Vegas. And it's like The Hangover. It's exactly The Hangover because...
but they did it first.
They did it first. And Ned had a white wine spritzer, which is like seltzer and white wine, right?
Yeah.
Like just a little bit. And he gets tanked and they end up getting married to Ginger and I forget the other one's name. But
yeah.
What's funny about that is that is Homer's legitimate wife, because there's a later episode where when in Milhouse Divided, when he gets remarried, Lovejoy loses his certification. So that marriage was void. So they realized that for years, like this is like in like one of the like season 29 or something, that Homer and Marge weren't married that whole time. And his Vegas wife actually comes back. And it's like, I'm actually his wife. But then what happens is he ends up forcing her to marry Grandpa. It's a weird episode.
Sure.
They like I said, they go off the rails sometimes. But yeah, so this is more of a stupidity. Like it is like
right.
he does cheat on Marge in a drunken mistake. Like they do kiss. Like like he's blacked out drunk.
Right.
But he does get married. But this is more fueled by stupidity.
Yeah.
And there is regret and everything. But it is another time where, what's the pattern here? It's either inconsideration or he's just a buffoon.
Yeah.
And in this time, like, because he's trying to get out of it and they both feel extremely guilty. But.
Right.
Yeah.
And so the next one is the half-decent proposal.
The half-decent proposal is Marge's old flame. Artie Ziff. Artie Ziff is...
This isn't his first episode, though, right?
No.
He's in the flashback one.
Yes, in The Way We Were.
Yeah.
So Artie Ziff was Marge's... I don't even want to call him her first boyfriend because, like, she always had a thing for Homer. But Artie Ziff asked her to the prom first. And Selma and Patty were charmed by him. And, like, because, like, he was just like a small wise ass, so they're just like, oh, this guy's really funny, whatever, you should go to the prom with him. But he was not respecting her at prom. He was groping her. He was sexually assaulting her. So rightfully so, Marge smacks him, kicks him out of his car, her car, and takes off, and that's how she ends up with Homer. This episode, Homer snoring, very loud. She can't take it anymore. She goes to spend the night with her sisters. They get a little tipsy and find out that Artie Ziff became a millionaire. Yeah. And Patty and Selma, again, love Artie. So she's like, why don't you email him and just like say hi and wish congratulations. But Patty and Selma make the email say, "Dear Hottie, I want to sex you up." Yeah. So,
by the way, he got rich. This is such a 90s joke.
Yes.
He got rich.
People wouldn't understand this.
No, it's true. The young listener won't understand this. With dial-up internet, there used to be this like crazy sound when it was connecting, like ask your grandparents. And he found a way to turn it into music.
Yes. Hey there, computer geek. You'll be connected in no time. Voiced by John Lovitz.
Yes. Yes.
So he's a millionaire, and
this is a parody of a movie from the 90s called An Indecent Proposal.
Yes, with Robert Redford.
And
who wouldn't?
Right, of course.
Is Jeff Daniels too? Is it Jeff Daniels?
I think it's definitely Demi Moore. I think it might be Woody Harrelson.
Oh, it's Woody Harrelson. You're right.
And it's a millionaire is like, I'll give you $1 million to let me sleep with your wife. And that kind of tears them apart.
I know.
This episode, by the way,
it is Robert Redford.
Although they don't say it's explicitly about sex. It's to spend the weekend with him.
Yes, and he set off ground rules. This is the more of the trend of Marge just being the object of somebody's desire. Which, again, like, she's only entertaining it for the fact of, like, okay, this is for the family because Homer needs a surgery and we're going to do this for money. But Artie's up to his old tricks. He's trying to relive the past. She spends the weekend with Artie.
Yeah.
So he's like, look, I want to just redo. I want to redo pretty much.
Yeah.
You're going to spend the weekend with me. No funny business. We're just going to do the prom again.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get a second chance at this. That's not the way it goes. And they don't get the money. But however, he takes his technology of drowning out unpleasant sounds and turns it into a snoring machine.
Right. So when he
that has a camera in it that she's watching through. But this is the trend. And Marge is the subject of people's desire a lot because
they project a lot onto her.
Yes, and plus she has endured so much with Homer that she's such a kind, beautiful, nurturing person that everybody just gets completely enamored by her.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot of tons of episodes that have this that I didn't even list. The reason why I brought this up is because this is a time where she's entertained it.
Yeah,
she's kind of had no choice to in this situation, right. But you have the episode where she works at the nuclear plant.
Yeah,
and Mr. Burns is just he follows everything that she does, all of her suggestions, oh, let's have funny hat day, let's do this, let's do that. He gets Tom Jones to perform for her, and then she catches on and he fires her.
Yeah,
so it's okay, so but the thing is, it's she's constantly no way the whole time there. Where with Artie, it's well, I'm gonna entertain us for a little bit, but so but again, it's something that tests their marriage, because what else happens in that episode is Homer sees her with Artie, and he thinks that they're happy, so he's like, you know what, I'm gonna go away, and him and Lenny just hit the road.
Yes, they become oil men. They go to, is it West Springfield?
Yes. Where, there's Mount Carlmore. And...
Yeah. Right. He's trying to get over Carl, which is hilarious.
The Lenny Carl relationship has always been funny because, at one point, they were dating each other's sisters.
Yeah.
Which Carla and Lenora. And they both looked exactly like them.
Of course.
But yeah, this was just more so for people being infatuated with Marge.
Right.
And you start seeing that in a trend. And
the next episode on our list is Mommy Beerists, where Mo becomes infatuated with her.
This is a little bit different, though. There's so many episodes where Mo is infatuated with her. There's one where Homer gets kicked out of the house and Mo's over there. And he's always creeping on Marge.
Right.
The reason why this one's different. So what happens is Mo's closes. Homer doesn't have a mortgage anymore, so he takes out a loan from the bank and becomes part owner of Mo's.
Yeah.
Marge, out of spite, with the other, angry that Homer has done something so selfish yet again, she's like, well, you know what? I want to protect our investment.
Right.
And becomes partners with Mo. They become friends. But now what's happening
is... He turns everything around because he's horrible. So she turns everything around. She's like, why don't we try this? So let's turn it into an English pub. Let's try... And all of the ideas are working.
Yes.
And Mo's is doing better. And they're becoming more successful.
But Mo always has an angle, though.
Yeah.
But in this... So he's... she's coming home at 4:00 in the morning. She, there's a role reversal here.
Yeah.
It's the first time Homer's called a cuckold, but he's feeling threatened. But there is emotional cheating here,
right? And the episode goes out of its way to explain what that is.
Yes, because it's the first person that Marge wants to share stuff with at this point is Mo.
Right? They call each other and they have long conversations and stuff. And
yes, the kids start calling him Uncle Mo. He's like, he's your emotional uncle. I'm your real uncle.
Says their real father.
Yes.
This is probably the closest Marge gets, really.
This is the most unfaithful, I would say, because
although I think she's naive to it.
Yeah, she is.
She doesn't get what's happening.
She has a friend.
Right.
You know, that's what very, very rarely she's got friends.
He's interpreting it as something,
Yes, because Homer is extremely vulnerable. Right. He needs all the attention. He's got main character syndrome. Really, because he's the main character of the show.
Yeah.
But, this hurts him. He's feeling insanely insecure about it to the point where he goes through the toilet of the plane. The way that he gets the chief to team up with him though, because like here's another person who just loves love because he's like, thanks chief. He's driving the stair car. He's like, anything for love. Like he's just so charmed by it. But
well, there's a funny moment or an interesting moment where Mo is like, I'm better than you. I know more about her. I know what her favorite food is, buttered noodles. Like he's like, he kind of calls Homer around. It's like, well, you're not a good partner.
No, he's not, and he's taken Marge for granted for years.
Right.
And the thing is, it's like Mo has been so obsessed with her for so long that he knows exactly how to like. Mo's not a good person.
No, he's horrible.
He's a snake. Right. So like he knew that vulnerability and took advantage of it.
Right.
But he's also an extremely lonely person. So like that's the attention that he needs as well. So a lot of deep shit, Mike. A lot of deep slack.
What's next? The next one is Diatribe of a Mad Housewife. This is another Flanders episode.
I guess we'll link them all together. So really, like we watched 3 Ned Flanders episodes because it all leads to a singular moment. So like that's why I want to group them all together, and they all jump from season 3 or 4, season 4, season 15, and season 21, I think. So we start very early. John Lovett's best character, which was Llewellyn St. Clair.
Yeah.
Just such an intense director. So Marge is trying out for A Streetcar Named Desire, the musical.
Sure, of course. Simpsons loves a musical parody.
Absolutely, like Stop the Planet of the Apes. I want to get off. So Marge,
is this the episode where we learn Flanders is in like incredible shape?
That's why we did it, because it's like, oh wait, no, Flanders is a friggin' hunk, like so. But we start seeing something fragile here because Homer's not paying attention to her at all. Like she's like, hey, I was thinking about trying this, and he's like, hey, keep it down. We're watching TV. She's like, doing her vocal warm ups. She's like, I want to try out for this play. She goes to try out for the play. She gets the part of Blanche because Homer's awful in this episode. Like he's like, Marge, hurry up, honking the horn while she's trying to leave.
The director kind of sees like, oh, he's like Stanley.
Yes,
you're like a real life. Though Blanche and Stanley aren't a couple in the play, but like you have to suffer this horrible man. You're like the character.
Like he's like, how are you not like Blanche? Like how are you like so resilient to this?
And she's not doing good as an actress because she can't get angry. But then when Homer's there to inspire her, she gets super angry because she channels her real anger. Yes. And the director's like, well, okay, wow, that's where it is.
So, like, we got this vulnerability here, but, like, the main thing of this, like, Homer starts feeling bad because he actually does realize it by the end of the play, like, of how bad he's been.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Ned plays Stanley, but the only reason why he got the part was because everybody else has a soft body, but 60-year-old Ned Flanders is ripped out of his mind. Stupid, sexy Flanders. So this starts to plant the seed into a series-long arc. So what that jumps to is the Diatribe of the Mad Housewife. So season 15, Homer just goes along being Homer. He gets fired from his job, becomes an ambulance driver, but only because he failed at being a car salesman. Started hiding his farts by turning up the car radio. So
why did he
it's one of the funniest moments.
He's like watching them through the one-way mirror, and he's like, oh, like he's selling a car, and he's like, oh, we'll get to listen to what they're really saying. But then when he leaves the room, they're just talking about him. Like, did he rip one in the car? And why did he try to cover it by turning up the radio?
And then when they leave, they're like, they'll be back. And then his boss makes a face, and he turns on the radio because he farted again. Yeah, you got to put it in those gags once in a while.
Hilarious.
What's really going on here? So, as far as their marriage, that's not what's really the concern here, because really what Homer's doing is just his normal buffoonery. So, Marge goes to a book signing, I believe, or like a book reading.
Right, yeah.
And is fascinated because this person's writing a book, and she's like, what does she say? She's like, if I write a book, will they tell me when it comes out?
Yes. She's super dumb in this episode.
Yes. But she does the limerick of there was once a woman from Nantucket. She's making like horrible analogies. Like
I've always been inspired by this painting.
Moby Dick.
Thanks. Thanks, moment from Moby Dick. Someone should write a book about this.
And it's like, well, I forget what she's like, sailing, or something like that.
Right.
So she has this mildly successful book, but it ends up being like a really shitty book, but everybody read it anyway.
And everyone immediately gets that she's writing about Homer and Flanders.
Yes, because I don't know what Flanders did. While she's writing, she sees him in the window, and it's like, okay, here's the perfect man. Like, here's somebody who's squared away. He's in shape, whatever. But the thing is, it's like it becomes the object of her affection. Right. And she goes off and she fantasizes a lot. Yeah. And like she always fantasizes about the sea too. Like there's a whole other episode where it's in Lisa's Rival, where like she's practicing saxophone. Yeah. But Marge is like reading a book and she's like, on a ship with some hunk. Right. But like Lisa wakes her up. So like this has always been like a desire of hers. So, but instead she puts Flanders in a spot. And what do they say? Like in chapter 15, she switches the names for 3 paragraphs.
There's 3 paragraphs where his name was just Marge.
So, the whole town knows this. Homer's embarrassed. And you think that it's going to end like how the book ends, where the boorish husband kills the object of her affection. But
he starts chasing Flanders down, and you think he's going to like try to kill him.
But like here, like this is where you start seeing the series turn, and like they want more of like the enrichment of their marriage. And like, you want to see like how even though like with all their dysfunction, they'll always endure. Like you start seeing that more in the later seasons and like how sweet they are, because he gets him to an edge of a cliff and he's begging him like, teach me how to be like you. How, I know I'm a bad husband. Yeah. How can I better myself? Which is something that like he would have done something manipulative back, 10 seasons earlier. Yeah. Like he's like, I might be bad, but like I, have like a sky message written for you. It's so who gives a shit? Like you just did a grandiose thing. Right. But which then brings you to The Devil Wears Nada. Right. So now what happens in The Devil Wears Nada is Marge models for a calendar, but she's the only model because she ends up,
getting drunk and being very sexy.
Yes, very sexy. Like, and they were like, you know what, we're gonna like put you as the model for the whole calendar. And the whole town is just like, oh, wait. I think this was the same time that Playboy actually issued a Marge Simpson issue. Which, weird. But anyway, the whole town was flirting with Marge. And like she even had a thing where it's like there was a ship called the SS Libido. Yeah. But Homer had like a little boat that was like the SS Not Tonight, Dear. Yeah. And he's like hanging himself with a cinder block or like drowning himself with a cinder block. But the reason why Homer's not reciprocating this is because he got a new job with Carl, like as like an executive assistant at the power plant.
Right, he's tired and he doesn't want to have sex.
Yes, he's just completely involved with work.
So one of the best parts of their relationship is not happening. Yes,
because like you said, their sex life's always been great. Right.
Like so she feels really sexy now. Yes. She feels like really feeling herself, and Homer's not having sex with her.
Yes. So Homer's at a business trip in France.
Sure.
And Marge is revved up. And this has to go somewhere. And even though like this is not the most emotional Close to Infidelity, this is the most intense. Yes. Because like as an apology, she invites Flanders over for dinner, and like we've already seen like in several episodes, that like she's into him. Yeah. And you know what? Like,
is his wife dead at this point?
His wife's dead at this point. Okay. And also, Homer at many times has commented on his wife, Maude. Yeah. And
then there's Maude.
But what was it? He split, like they're cleaning up dinner because it ends up like the kids don't like, both families were going to have dinner together. Yeah. But they punished he punished Rod and Todd because they watched a commercial for Grey's Anatomy and the other brother didn't tell them right away. Yeah. And Bart and Lisa just went out for the night. So they're just having a dinner together as friends. But, again, Marge is super horny. And Flanders sprays water on himself, cleaning up. His nipples are popping out. He's got a cross. Like, you could see his whole chest. And, like, she is just ready to go, and they're both looking at each other, and it's intense.
Yeah, because he wants it too.
Yeah, because the guy's a widower, and but he's a red-blooded American.
Yeah.
So I guess their conscience kicks in, and they realize this isn't happening. So they're both respectful for each other, but then after that, Homer finally services his wife.
Yes.
And does his patronly duties.
Yes. So yeah, you're right. It's a 3-episode arc over many seasons.
Yes.
So there is something to the fact that this is their next door neighbor.
Yes.
And that there's something there.
Yes.
There's something there.
They're breaking the commandment of thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's spouse.
Yes. Yes.
And both of them have done so to the Flanderses.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So did we skip anything?
Yeah, I do.
This is your wife?
Homer Simpson, This Is Your Wife is the Ricky Gervais episode.
Yes, where it's a similar situation of he becomes totally enamored with Marge and she's not into it.
Well, yeah, because here's something of
she's just
here's
nice.
some guy who's been emotionally abused his entire marriage, and then just the tiniest bit of decency, and this is the same thing with Mr. Burns. Like, she wants no part of it. She's just forced into this because of this TV show. Right. So it's like a wife swap thing. Or like, what do they call it? Mommy, I forgot what the name of the episode, but it was a wife swap parody. Yeah. So like they were living with each other's. Right. Homer's just completely repulsive. So the other family's wife ends up together with
What's
Patty.
That great smell? I'm burning your underwear. It's a great smell.
But yeah, I mean, there's always the pattern of people are in love with Marge.
And it's also these two British stereotypes. This overbearing, unloving, cold woman and this put upon guy who's like insecure and lets people walk all over him. Right. So Marge being just slightly nice to him. Like at one point he's like, if she says one more nice thing, I'm going to be totally enamored with her. And then she's like, oh, you've got one of those toasters that catches the crumbs or something like that. And he's like, that's it. And he writes a song for her. It's pretty good. It's
I want to die. Die like Lady Di. But not like Lady Di.
It's a good episode. He's good at it.
No, he's pathetic. That's why. Like he's, what was it? It's like, I manage an office, but no promotion today. I know. Like he's like ready to like defend himself a little bit. She's like, wow, you manage a whole office? He's like,
because any guy compared to Homer looks good. Right. So it's a situation where they kind of both want something. They both want to be seen. Yes. But she just wants to be his friend or whatever. Mm-hmm. And he's totally in love with her. Yeah. And then Dangers on a Train.
Dangers on a Train. Like this is
season 24.
We're coming back to the whole thing of teach me how to treat you. Yeah. So it's Marge and Homer's anniversary. They have a flashback to their first anniversary where Lisa's conceived on a train in the mall, like kind of like a Santa's Village type of train called the Little Lisa. And so as an anniversary present, they were getting rid of that train. They were throwing it out. So Homer went to go bought it and was keeping it at Moe's to restore it. And he got the whole town to, or like, just like.
He's doing something really sweet.
Yes.
But it's taking up a lot of his time. And this is when we said it seems like a reversal or a comment on the earlier episodes where he's just completely negligent. Right. Like she thinks he's being negligent. And he's even pretending to not remember their anniversary because he's got this huge thing, this huge surprise waiting for her.
But what Marge is doing, she's like, "Oh, our anniversary's coming up, so I'm going to buy him some like cookies or like some baked goods from an Ashley Madison type site, but
Sassy
Madison. But it was supposed to be some like something else Madison type of like baked goods." So she registers for an affair dating site, and the person who has stolen so much from The Simpsons, Seth MacFarlane, which I mean, that's how they actually pitched the episode, where it's like, yeah, I know what I've done. So
right, and so this is 2 years before their
crossover episode. Yes.
I didn't even know this happened. I was really surprised. I was like, oh shit, that's Seth MacFarlane. Yeah, because they went back and forth for years, like sniping at each other. Yeah. No, he is great at it. Yeah. They start talking. Well, no, she's such a nice person.
Yes.
That if you don't remember Ashley Madison, the idea, it would end up being a scam with a lot of bots on it. But the idea was it was a dating site for people that are already married.
Yes.
So she gets a bunch of, messages, and she's such a nice person. She's like, I have to let them all down.
Yes.
So she stays up all night and writes emails to every single guy, and then she starts talking to this guy, and he's just nice, and they both like Downton Abbey, or the Simpsons version of Downton Abbey.
Which Homer's a horrible shaver. There's been so many gags where he has bled so much, because you see the one thing in Downton Abbey where the razor comes up and it comes back and it's covered in blood.
Yeah.
But so they're watching it together. Now, let me ask you something. Being that you're in a successful relationship for quite some time now, do you watch anything without Jen? I mean, other than for this podcast.
We have, yes, because she doesn't like horror movies at all, and she's not really into anime. So we have things we have a lot of things that we do together. Like we do the Gilmore Girls together. And we did Wednesday together. When there's a new cool show, we do it together. We see every movie together.
You would never watch an episode of Wednesday without her, though.
No, if we've already established that we're watching it together,
yes,
it would be cheating if either one of us watched an episode. You cannot watch that show.
That's why this episode is important with that.
You're right.
Because she's just watching this series where Homer has voiced that he's not into the show.
Right. It's funny because Downton Abbey is one of the things that Jen likes that I was not into. She watched it all without me, although I did see both movies with her. There's 2 Downton Abbey movies and nothing happens.
No, but it's nice.
It's just a nice warm
time.
Cup of tea.
But what was it? She's just watching it with another friend. This is another thing of the emotional cheat. It's not as much emotional. It's not where it's she's sharing stuff that she the whole thing with the at the end of the day, who do I want to talk to the most?
Yeah,
that's not really what's going on here. But she's having a kinship with somebody where at the same time there's resent for Homer because she thinks that he's being negligent, and he's given evidence for that.
Right,
but and this guy's giving her the attention, but she's never going to act on it. But
he wants her to.
He's being led on, because he's no, but she's still here. So he's still inching and encroaching to the point where he comes in at the end,
right,
and tries to shoot his last shot.
Right. I mean, and they meet on a website for people who want to cheat on their spouse. Yeah. So from the get-go. And you learn his wife, Lisa Lampanelli, is horrible.
And then he just tries to go back on this. He's like, oh, no, we're going to make this work now. We do love each other. But then, immediately, he's back on the site. Who was he talking to? Do you remember?
I don't remember.
He was talking to somebody else at the end. I think it was... it was Selma.
Yes.
She says something where, she, cropped her picture to make her look, more attractive or something.
Yeah. And then,
she said she was smoking.
What's the episode where it's a woman and she ends up with the woman? It's one of these episodes that we watched.
Yeah, it was Homer Simpson, This Is Your Wife, because Patty, the sister, Patty's a lesbian, so she actually ends up with Ricky Gervais's wife at the end.
That's it. Yes. So we have one more left. It's Every Man's Dream, and this is a way late episode. It's season 27, and this is the female is Candace, is voiced by Lena Dunham.
Yes,
and this is one that they do the dream psych out 9 times, and then it ends with her character from Girls is having a dream.
Yes,
it's a weird one.
I put it on because it was this is the episode where Homer cheats on Marge, and you're like, oh, okay, they're actually doing it. And then rewatching, and I'm like, oh wait, no, this is just,
right.
It was Who Shot JR all over again, or it was Roseanne,
right, yeah.
But
it's an interesting episode because there's a moment early on where Marge says the dialogue, Homer, you have no idea what it's like being married to you.
Yeah,
because Homer starts dating. Well, that's the funny thing about Mindy and Kent is that these beautiful women for some reason would be attracted to Homer.
Right. And with the exception of Seth MacFarlane, everybody else was like a gargoyle for Marge.
Right. And And he starts dating this pharmacist.
Yeah.
And then her dad is dating Marge.
Yes.
And they go on a break because they go to therapy, and the therapist is like, I shouldn't say this, but this marriage is terrible.
Well, this is what I wanted to come down to.
You should go on a break, and then after the break, go on another break, and then get divorced.
This is all of it has added up to this. Like, do you agree with the therapist?
The thing is, by season 27, everything's just a parody of itself.
Yeah.
That nothing's real at all anymore.
Yeah.
Any stakes and sincerity has been totally squeezed out of the show.
Yeah.
So it's hard to even judge these things at this point. You know what I mean? Because everything's a comment on a comment on a comment, especially because you're in season 27.
Yeah. And there's been so many things, like even outside of the infidelity, where like they were just like, whether it be gambling or whether it be sneaking drinking or whatever it be, like there's been so many things, and I'm putting all the blame on Homer, like that he has done, where it's like not only would you get divorced, but like restraining orders and like moving out of the country, like away from this man.
Don't they like split up in the movie for a minute?
Yes.
I forget
it was such a small reason compared to all the other reasons. But it is sad because like it's over. She tapes it over the wedding tape, and so it is a little emotional. But it was because of they had to relocate to Alaska.
Yeah, because
Homer was responsible for destroying Springfield.
Right.
So and like they were fugitives from everybody in Springfield. So, but like, she says like it's finally her giving up. She's like, I put up with a lot in this marriage, and you could hear like it is sad because like Julie Kavner, the voice actress, is
30 years older than when she started.
Yes, and like so like her voice has changed the most out of anybody. So like you could tell like in the movies, like the first you hear it, like she's struggling with it. But like her speech at that point is like, you weep for Homer, but like you're like, Marge is right. Like she's got to get out of here.
It's weird because canonically they're only married 10 years, but there's 30 years of a marriage that we've seen. So it feels like he's worse. Like if you stop and think they're only 10 years in, it's not as bad. But really it's like he's been terrible for 30 years.
Yeah.
But let's end by talking about their marriage and like what we really think. Like if they were real people, which they're not, right? They're a sitcom, they're a comment on a sitcom.
Right.
But all she wants from him is to just try.
Right.
Like I think that's the main problem. Like he's dumb, he's not going to not be dumb.
Yeah.
If he just tried consistently, she would be so happy that he's trying that I think they'd be functioning. So I do think in the end he's more of a problem.
Well, that's the end of the Diatribe of the Mad Housewives episode, right?
Yeah.
Like he tries for 1 month.
Yeah.
And like he's got the mug that says sober, and it's like, wow, what a month that was. And they're like celebrating it. It's like you really just have to do the bare minimum, don't you?
Right. Right. And he won't do it.
Yeah.
He won't do it.
No. And again, like we haven't even touched the drinking. Like there's been so many awful times. Like
clearly an alcoholic.
There was one time in one episode. This was probably one of the worst things he's done. Like Janine and I watched this episode. We were like, holy shit! Like there's so many times like this one was so grounded in reality. Like we were just like, I can't believe he actually low for Homer.
Yeah.
Marge started drinking, like recreational drinking.
Yeah. And
like they were having fun, and like he's like, oh my God, I actually have a friend now. And like, they were becoming buddy. And it was really sweet. And they go to like Duff Gardens or like some type of like wine tasting or something. And they're both drunk. Homer drives home and flips the car over and realizes that this is his last strike with a DWI. So he switches. Marge is passed out and he puts her in the driver's seat.
Wow.
And like gaslights her the entire episode, like saying like, yeah, you did that. I can't believe you did that and stuff. So it's like,
wow, damn,
you're an asshole.
What season is this?
I don't remember. It's in like anywhere from like 16 to like 19.
Okay.
But
well, that's pretty fucked up.
It's fucked up. It's bad. Like that's, don't do that.
We should mention though that it's it's almost like, again, it's a comment or comment. It's like an in joke now because I think there's 2 episodes in the future where Lisa's like, they're usually Lisa episodes where they're divorced.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, of course they'd be divorced.
He lives under
like after
the
the kids get older. Yeah. And he's just a complete wreck without her.
Yeah. It's not a codependency. He's completely dependent on her. He's emotionally abusive towards it.
He drags her down because she's creative. She could be so much more without him.
Yeah. They've entertained that too, you know?
Yeah.
Well, what was it? There was in the Mindy episode when he's like going around with Colonel Klink. He's like, well, how's Marge going to be? And like she's living in a mansion.
Right. He shows him like, what would life be like with if you didn't marry Marge and everybody's married?
Yeah. I love that as Colonel Klink. Homer, because he didn't know who Isaac Newton was.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
So, I'll say this. I give kudos to a family sitcom that at least has the guts to do stories like this. Because you never really see, like, think about other sitcoms. The only one I can think of offhand is there's an infidelity that happens in Mad About You. But this, like, to show that, like, marriage is hard and that sometimes you are attracted to other people, but it doesn't.
Right.
So I give it kudos for that. But the thing is, almost all of these episodes, the starting point of why it happens is because they're not compatible. Yeah. Right. But it's hard to have any sort of veracity in terms of like judging it like a real marriage, because it's everything in Latter-day Simpsons is you took something from the original and now you're just commenting on it. Yeah. So it's like, oh, they have a bad marriage, so that's where we go.
Right.
Oh, Lenny and Carl are his only two friends and we know nothing about them. So the whole joke is that they're like a couple and his name is Carl Carlson, and the joke is we don't know anything about them.
Right.
So they just push everything further. It would be amazing though if they got like the last episode, they just get divorced and that's the end of The Simpsons. Thanks.
I'm trying to think how somebody like
how
on
does
Reddit.
It end?
Somebody said on Reddit that the best way to end it is they're going to like, what was it, like Itchy and Scratchy was doing it was like one long couch gag. Like there was going to be like a special. The Itchy and Scratchy final episode was going to be on. So like it starts off. Bart has detention that day, so and then he gets out and he's traveling back home. Homer just gets out of work, so it's just the opening credits, just them to watch the Itchy and Scratchy final episode.
That would be a clever way to do it.
The other theory that I heard was that it's the morning of the Christmas pageant from season 1. So what happens is, like, throughout the episode, the animation gets cruder and cruder and cruder up until they get into the car.
Interesting.
And so what happens is it just cycles back to the first episode.
Interesting.
So this way, it's like The Simpsons never ends. It just goes around and around and around.
I wonder, I mean, they've been so long. I wonder if they do have, like, somewhere, like Matt Groening has somewhere, like, you know, break glass and here is our
like in a steel briefcase.
He has to have an idea of if they ever did end it, what it would be. I mean, you'd have to, right? I mean, who knows if, you know.
I always just peek my head in, because again, like, you know, once I got to season 30, I was like, I gotta stop watching every single episode. Like, I was such a completionist up until then. Now I just peek my head in, like, is there anything worthwhile? Like the Treehouse is
I always watch Treehouse,
and it was you know, but they're not really that good anymore.
Well, I mean, it's weird because it comes and goes. It's like SNL, like like I forget when it was. Like, no, it was like, God, what was it? I feel like episode like, or season like 25 or something. Or actually, what was the season with Every Man's Dream? 27. I think I watched all of 27 just randomly.
You know what it is? It's also when the trends of like when Futurama isn't on, because I always feel like the better writers go to Futurama. And
you know what? I feel like if you watch any episode of The Simpsons, there'll be at least one thing that's funny. It is in a weird place now where it feels overly. It's being influenced by Family Guy's sense of humor.
Yes.
But then Family Guy's also on too long at this point.
It's become very self-referential.
Yeah.
Like way too, like, I mean, like
it should end.
Like the Homer gif of him going back into the bushes has been in an episode.
Well, it was in Treehouse this year.
Yeah, where they used it as a gif on a phone.
Right. No, well, it was Westworld, but it was Simpsons World.
Yes.
And it was just fan service because it all just references the Simpsons.
Yeah.
Shit.
But
I think I would like them to end.
yeah.
And you know, while we're at it, let's end SNL.
Yeah, let's do it.
Please.
Let's end everything.
Please.
Let's end Jeopardy.
You're preachers to the choir.
Yeah, right.
Well, we did it. Bill Gagliardi.
We covered the whole Simpsons. Nothing else has to be said. We talked about Mr. and Mrs. Erotic American.
We'll do more things like this. I like the idea of coming up with a single idea and going through this entire huge canon, and sort of seeing the through lines. This has been PCMC. We come out every Wednesday. Ever. We never miss a Wednesday.
No, we're coming up to a big one this year.
Yeah. It's. I'm surprised myself at how long the show's been on because we're like the Simpsons. We've been on a long time and no one cares. Yeah, like I'll see like on my time hop like something from 4 years ago, like just like promoting an episode. I'm like, holy shit, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah,
it's one of the longest relationships I've had.
That's good, man. 90% of success is just showing up.
We show up every Wednesday.
There you go.
This is PCMC. I'm Mike Perjono. I was joined today by Mr. Bill Gagliardi. We end every episode by saying,
go bye-bye.